guys, how y'all doing? It's me, Johnny, and I have 0 rewards to show from this past game week. Oh well, it is what it is. Guys, we didn't get any decisives from any of the players apart from Unastal, who picked up a 70 score, and I'm very happy to see that happen. Sadly, Unastal is up against PSV next week, so I am waiting for an incoming 0. But yeah, guys, this was the team that we put together. I was quite confident going into it. New York somehow losing against DC United. Absolutely mental. Let me put on my glasses because I don't want these UV rays to ruin my eyes. I'm just joking, but genuinely, these actually really help. These are not for seeing better. These are genuinely just so my eyes don't burn when I'm sat at the PC and have 3 monitors going into my eyes. But hey, anyways, back to the story. New York City FC suck. Laird, I'm sorry if you're watching this. Your team's ass, bro. It just is. Because ever since Castellanos has gone, ever since Keaton Parks has been injured, when Callens got injured, this team is a mess. The backups are horrible. And they are losing against DC United, man. It's so sad to see how Thales Magno is struggling so much. The guy got 52 as an attacking player through AA, which is great to see. So he doesn't kill our lineup when others don't necessarily. If others step up and he doesn't kill a lineup. So that's kind of nice to see. But Hill got like 67 points off of AA only. No decisive. So if he had a decisive, this could have been a huge game week. Delcroix picked up 58 points in a loss against Ghent. Had played really well. I liked him. But Anderlecht dropped extremely deep at home against Ghent, and their fans were getting quite agitated. And here's the thing, guys. Guess what? Another super rare, possibly down the mud. Now, he didn't get injured like Treble. Here's the story. I get myself Delcroix. He plays incredible. He goes ahead and gets me. Let's just take a look at Delcroix's performances lately, right? The guy comes in, settles back into the squad, and after a long-term injury, picks up 77, 70, 95, 83, 85, 58. I'm like, yes! I have an insane super rare in my club. That's what I'm thinking, right? At that point in time. All of a sudden, Jan Vertonghen decides, you know what? I'm going back to Belgium. And where does Jan Vertonghen play? He plays left centre-back / left-back. And Vertonghen wants to come back to Belgium and play for Anderlecht. And at whose expense? At the expense of this wonderful, wonderful young man, Delcroix. So it is not 100% yet. We don't know if Delcroix is going to be dropped. And I do think that we will only see Vertonghen start playing possibly from like the Conference League game on, or Jupiler Pro League game against Westerlo. I don't think he's going to be ready for the game against Leuven, which means I will utilize him this week. But guys, if I can take my profits on this man Delcroix, I will. I mean, I also have his rare. Picked him up for, let's see, for 0.24. He sold up to 0.43, so that's something that I am definitely going to look at. If I can sell on Delcroix for a decent amount after the game against Leuven, I will possibly do so, because I'm sick and tired of making losses on players. So I'm going to take my profits if I can. It's such a shame that he is possibly going to be suffering from rotation, and I just can't do it, guys. I can't have my lineups ruined through rotational risk. That's just not okay. So for me, I'm looking at that and thinking, yeah, I might have to move on here. So I'll show you guys something later on that I'm genuinely thinking about right now. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's go into the lineup again. Rafaelov played 70 minutes. Didn't necessarily do insane, but did pick up 45 on AA. He had one massive chance that he bottled. He lobbed the keep. He got past like 2 people. Was 1v1 against the keeper. Lobbed it, and it went just past the post. I screamed, but it didn't help. So, yeah, that sucks. Going into the next game week, though, as always, going into it with a lot of confidence due to matchups. I'll show you guys in a second. We have won a star comment this week, which is great. I appreciate that. But let's start off with our teams. Let's go into the under 23 Rare Pro, which is the team I have my most faith in. And that is this right here. Osako against Shimizu at home. Great matchup. Expected clean sheet. Looks very good there. Then we have the captain Sorare up against Tirol. I think he's going to do insane numbers. I'm expecting at least a 70, hence why I have captained him in this squad. Then we have Delcroix, he's super rare, possibly up for our account for one last push. And then we have Getson Fernandez, who is obviously a player that I have a lot of faith in, and it seems like the market has picked up its faith in Getson as well. I did tell you guys in one of the latest videos that I think he's too cheap. He did sell for like 1.2 right there, or let's go for ETH actually, 0.8, and now he's up above 1.1. People are realizing Besiktas is looking extremely strong this season. I think having a Besiktas stack for Challenger Europe could be massive. And I'm genuinely considering going like Challenger Europe Pro and just a Besiktas stack, because you will have some tough games, yes, but at least it will be like a set and forget type thing where you just put the team in and you can expect insane numbers, because their team looks very good, man. There are so many Premier League players there, and that just will make a huge difference. And especially when they play at home, oh my, that their fans are insane. So for me, a Besiktas stack is still something that I'm thinking about when it comes to the Challenger Europe region. I think that could be a nice little play, because most people have like Ajax and PSV and blah, 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 and the Salzburg stacks. So that could be something to use as a nice differential until people pick up on it. But yeah, this is the team. We have Muleka, who came into the club. Guys, I have let go of Kamara. Yes, Boubacar Kamara is gone. Muleka is here. I have realized my mistakes when it comes to Boubacar Kamara. I should have thought about it more. It was a huge purchase. I have made a huge loss on it. And it is yet another time where, as my account is called, it's learning by doing. So I have made another mistake. I look back at it. I understand what my mistake was, and I hopefully rectify it in the future. So I have brought in Muleka because this guy is nuts. If we look at his stats, and if you look at his performances in Turkey, let me show you right here. In Turkey, in 17 appearances, he has gotten 19 goal contributions. 20 decisives in total, because he has a penalty kick one as well here. That is unheard of in Turkey. We never had a player come in and have such a huge impact in this short amount of time in the Turkish division. I know this because I watched the last Besiktas game and the commentators said exactly that. Statistically, apparently, he is the #1 player to come into Turkey and do as well as he has. And this guy signed until 2027, and he's under 23 until 2024. Now, I think after this season, in which he will probably do extremely well, there's going to be a bunch of teams that want to sign this man. I think that's going to happen. So I'm very happy to bring Muleka into the squad. I personally believe his price still has at least the chance of doubling. No financial advice. It's just my opinion. I do think that he's going to be one of the best under 23 forwards. The issue is, though, they have to find a way to fit him and Ghezal into the starting lineup. Muleka currently has been playing off the right-hand side in front of Rosier, who's an incredible right back for this division as well. Ideally, if I would put together a Besiktas stack, I would probably go with the goalkeeper, who's an under 23 goalkeeper. Sadly, will cost a lot of money, but I would go him. I would go Masuaku, Rosier in midfield. I'd go Getson, and in the attack, I'd probably go Muleka. Like, I think that team is nuts. But having said that, Muleka, I think, again, he has at least a price, the chance of doubling in his price once people realize how insane he is. I mean, if you look at this price graph, I think we had certain points in time. Yeah, there. Look at that. Like, people were hyping him up massively and did pick him up to like really ridiculous numbers at that point in time. And in terms of ETH, yeah, you can see it there as well. Like, he went up to like 0.88. 0.9 was the highest that he ever sold for. We're currently at 0.5. I think he's going to be a 1 ETH player. I do really, really think that. But yeah, moving on from this team, let's go over across to under 23. There it is. So under 23, guys, we have similar faces here. We have Delcroix and Osako again. Great matchups on paper, apparently. Then we have an amazing matchup for Feyenoord against Go Ahead Eagles. Obviously, it's away from home. I have seen Go Ahead beat Ajax last year, so I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. But apparently, Kökçü and Szymanski could be in a starting lineup together. That is something I've been wanting to see. That will be huge. Then we have Brenner against Charlotte. That game, technically, on paper, once again, great matchup. So you can tell all the under 23 squads that I've put together now have amazing matchups. And that's something that I've really tried to focus on when I put these teams together to give myself the best chance possible. The Feyenoord stack is in under 23 rare, and the Besiktas stack is in the under 23 rare pro. Then going into All-Star and All-Star Rare Pro, and here's something I will need to mention to you guys in a bit. I am on the verge of making a huge decision. We'll talk about that in a second. So we have Vargas, Shosasaki, great matchups on paper once again. Then we have Hill against New York City, who couldn't even beat DC United at home. I think Hill is going to do really well in this matchup as well, because not Manchester City, New York City's midfield looks like an absolute mess right now. So yeah, that's the player I really like in this matchup as well. Then Acosta against Charlotte, once again, is great. So you could technically argue that 4 of these are somewhat favorable matchups based on recent performances, even though Charlotte have been doing well lately. I will have to mention that. And then we have a tough one. Maeda against Rangers, Celtic against Rangers, the derby. He could get 3 goals, or he could pick up a red card and get 0 points. That's how it's going to go. And I didn't use Unastal this week because he has a matchup against PSV. Actually, Unastal has a bunch of terrible matchups coming up. I will have to say that. They are playing against PSV, then against AZ. And then after that, Heerenveen is not easy either. Vitesse is not easy. I can still see clean sheets and decent scores there. Against PSV, if he doesn't concede 3, I can see him making like 10 saves. That could be quite useful. And then Feyenoord. But then after that, 314 and onwards, Groningen, Cambuur, Waalwijk, Go Ahead Eagles, Sparta, Emmen, up until the Ajax game back in like January, you have a stretch of great games for Twente. So I am very much already eyeing out an opportunity there in those game weeks, possibly building towards a really strong challenger rare pro team. But going back into this, into the All-Star, where is it? All-Star Pro, please. There it is. So All-Star Pro, I have put in a throwaway, risky-ish lineup. Again, Camara left the squad. I did get Moleka and also Sinistera within that deal. Slovic is going to play against Yokohama. Terrible matchup. I'm just hoping he doesn't concede 3 and has plenty of chances to save. So yeah, that's what I've gone for. Then Saliba is going to be playing for us against Manchester United. Again, the options that I have are not necessarily ideal. I think Saliba can do really well against the pacey attack of Manchester United with tackles, possibly picking up something like a last man tackle. I can see that happening as Rashford runs through, he chases him down, puts in a tackle. That's the mindset I have here. Then we have Palacios making his first appearance for the club against Real Salt Lake. That could be a 100-point game. That's what I have gone ahead and captained him. Out of any of the players right here that I can captain, Palacios is the one who has 100 capability. He has done it multiple times in the past. I think he can do really well as a fullback now with the new Matrix as well. I have put the captaincy on him despite the last 3 scores not necessarily being great, but he has to bounce back at some point, right? Then we have Rafaelov against Leuven. Very much looking forward to seeing him again. I really like him as a football player, just class. Reminds me a lot of my dad. My dad was a similar type of player as Rafaelov. I'll have to put that out there. Then we have Luis Sinistera up against Brentford. Sinistera scoring in his last game, and I did watch that game back, and I realized Leeds United remind me a lot of Feyenoord in the sense of going from defense into attack very, very quickly. And that's something that benefited Sinistera massively in the past, and I think it can again. I think he's amazing in terms of 1v1 situations. I think he's great in facing the goal and sprinting towards it with the ball, and I think he has great finishing on him. I mean, he scored with his left foot in that game. So this is basically a throwaway, punty type lineup. But guys, here's the one thing that I want to mention. So if we go ahead and we put all the players in that I'm not using in under 23 or don't have plans in using under 23 anymore, we are looking at around 12,000, like 7.6 ETH in total. I'm very, 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 very close in just going scrap everything and selling all these up and just buying myself an amazing all-star team. I'm genuinely thinking about that. Just going for the best of the best in some of the best teams in the world with good matchups in every single game week, like a set and forget type thing. The reason for that is because I personally really love under 23. I enjoy myself the most when it comes to under 23. That's something I've realized. My whole FIFA content, my channel, which I've built up to over 420,000 subscribers, it's all based on young talents in FIFA. That's all it is. And it's just my thing. It's just genuinely just my thing, the thing that I enjoy the most. So I'm contemplating if I should just go under 23 Rare Pro, those ones to focus on and keep building the gallery in terms of those, because I do have my strongest lineups in there, and genuinely just moving all these players. Like, we can look at, I have put a trade together here. I could bring in some massive players when it comes to All-Star Rare now. Obviously, I would have to take somewhat of a hit on a bunch of these players. Obviously, I'm selling a bunch of these lower than I have brought them in. I'm not saying I am going to do it, but I am interested, man. The thought of having like a really good all-star team just gets me going. I don't know what it is. I want that set and forget type of mentality when it comes to this as well, as I do now with the under 23s. I genuinely think we are just really well situated in under 23. Ideally, I would like to have some exposure here as well to teams like PSV and Ajax, and that's something to maybe build up upon or build towards. But generally speaking, these are some of the highest scoring players now or in the past when it comes to under 23. So I like that a lot. But having said that, Osako doesn't have that many games left, so I hopefully can start picking up some big rewards here so we can afford some other goalkeepers that are actually European based, but that's a totally different story. Guys, I don't know. It's just a thought. And in Sorare, you really only have like what? Only the games that you can watch, and then after that you just sit there and think about things you could possibly do. I think it's very dangerous. I think it's very dangerous to have this much time in our hands when it comes to Sorare. But Sorare Mega, we're putting in this team of 3. I think all of them are 100 capable with their matchups as well. Mega 5, we have put together Brenner, Szymanski, Kökçü, Solé, and Osako. And then when it comes to Mega 8, we have to put together Maeda, Thales Magno, Getson, Acosta, Gil, Delcroix, Saliba, and Keisuke Osako. And having said, like, I should probably not put Brenner in here. He's under 23. Thales Magno should not be in there. Verscharin, I kind of lost faith in this kid, man. He just ghosts too much during games. Amuzu is terrible. It was a terrible purchase. It's just, he's fast and everything, but he's just not that guy. But I don't know. I might put these guys into it. But yeah, again, you can see like there's a lot of value locked up in players that just aren't winning me rewards at the moment. And if they do, it's like a tier 3. And I don't know. I am becoming impatient, as you can tell. I am very much becoming impatient, but at the same time, it excites me. It really excites me to sell all these and just go ham and buy myself like a really good all-star rare pro team. Just buy a bunch of Zenit players, buy some PSG players, just do whatever I want, you know? And yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Guys, it's just me going crazy always. Don't take it too serious. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I'm very much looking forward to this game week. It is going to be exciting. I wish you guys the best. I hope all of you win rewards, but at the same time, I hope all of you land behind me in the rankings. Have a good day, guys. Take care and peace.